Okay, I think you'll be in my your car. Yeah. And then he's a cowboy, but he's in one. Upper West. Then Sassy is and every but he's from Savannah. You want to have a very the sex is like good because it reveals a lot of things that many will come from the revelations. That's where what to do when you comes in. And okay. Next door. It's not. I don't feel. Well, let's see myself. Then I went what is this online? How you do it on yes. So when they return, that is where you have your presentation. Which one?
the snack reading, step out, and then I'll come back to continue with the second presentation. I'm here waiting for the presenter to sit so that we can have the. Are there people still outside?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, good. For the lot that we needed.
We don't know their names.
We don't know their names.
So the first name is Lot.
Lot. Yeah. What did Abraham's house in our report?
Anyway, that was one of the names.
Where's Martin? We need him as the main. He moved towards the worship. Maybe he's going to worship. So we would like to just show by hands. If you want to comment, we'll take rounds. First round. So okay, I'll give your hand first before your hand. Sorry, your name. Isaac. Isaac. Okay. And then I saw Isaac, and then Zakaria, and I saw your hand. Anyimbe. Yes. Joshua. Joshua. Then there was a hand behind. Okay. Okay, Ahmed. Okay. So, oh, there's another hand at the back. Sorry. Thompson. Okay. So we have line of 1, 2, 3, or 6 people. Oh, okay. Enough. Okay. Those are the 7 people. 7 people. I'm just buying time for the presenter to be in so that we can. Is there any other one who wants to make a comment? Any other person? Okay. So we have 7 people. 7 people. So Muda will follow this line. The first person from here. Sorry, is a person from here. All right.
No, thank you for a very insightful presentation. I saw that you did a very nice way trying to link the PFJ and then the 1D1F to the international protocols that we have, and even development plan that we have in the town. But I was expecting something that I didn't see, because the subsidy system was introduced somewhere in 2008. And right from there, we transitioned up to 2017 when the PFJ was introduced. So before the PFJ was introduced, there was a subsidy system in place. I think that if you had linked that history, it would have given us a little more background to where we are as a people. Then my issue has to do with the market. For farmers, marketing is one of the serious challenges that we are facing. Whether you are looking at the input side or the output side, I think marketing is a serious challenge for us. The PFJ tried to solve both the input side and then the output side. But on the issue of the output side, apart from a few directors who were proactive, like your study pointed out, who were able to identify people who needed our products and link us to, there was no strategic plan put in place to link farmers to markets. There was nothing like that. So the farmer produces because he has been given improved seed, he has been given fertilizer. At the end of the day, what is he going to do with the output? He's at the mercy of the local buyer. And sometimes those Indian companies and the people that you mentioned who comes, and the farmer now becomes a taker of price. He cannot really negotiate any price because if you are not selling it out, if you are in your room, what are you going to do with the product? So at the end of the day, whatever is offered, whether it makes economic sense in terms of production or not, you are forced to take it. And that is a serious challenge. And I think that governments or the states, let me put it that way, it's not helping farmers in terms of agricultural market. We have paddy rice available all over the northern sector. Yet we import rice to feed our senior high schools and the other government institutions that we have. Yet we say we are encouraging farmers to produce. So why are you encouraging the farmers to produce? To produce and do what? You want to improve their living standards. Now I've done the production. I'm not able to sell. How am I going to make the income to be able to improve my life? And I think that it's a national problem we have to start thinking about. Because there seem to be uncoordinated public policies accounting for these things. Why do I say so? We have the National Buffer Stock Company. What are they doing? How many farmers can stand up and say that for the past 5 years, my products have been bought by the National Buffer Stock Company? I'm not sure any farmer can stand up and say that. Yet, National Buffer Stock is in charge of feeding schools. However, they get the contractors to supply our senior high schools with food. It's only them that know. We don't know how they get it. Yet there is a lot of paddy rice in the system. Couldn't you have given such paddy rice to companies like Tamana and other mills around to mill it and give it to our schools? Because we are even being told that some of the rice that are being fed to our children, excuse me to say, are expired. Yet we produce rice and wait for Nigerians to come and buy our paddy. We wait for Burkinabes to come and buy our paddy. And if they don't come, the farmer is struggling. I think the uncoordinated public policies we have, we need to rethink the way we go about that thing, or else we'll talk all the time and there will be no change. Thank you.
Give the next one to that.
Yeah, I'm just Minister Kara. I'm from Zamana. I think I was an advanced project, advanced project since 2016. Advanced remember development energy. It's one program. So I've got so we run it concurrently with the proposal project. Even though at the same time, I had machines, I was working for movement, working for a group of farmers and identify the 15 communities. And so my challenge now, what I want to talk about the challenges when Dr. was talking is that the recovery for this business activity is very important that the recovery is not right? And the government comes into help with all these things, spend a lot of money, and we're doing the recovery and they also recover them. So what I did at that time, that's what they two things out. The system where running a station where I had families, a contract with them, made contracts with them. Sign or template, had pictures of them taken, just to go to control. So all along the line, it was very self-explaining, but let me something. I can't say that. So even and then connecting also to the right market, agriculture, they give keep manufacturing. So I realized that this game, when the product, it didn't come to buy. One, because when the product figured out, before the product was supplied, means what 20 articulates a year. And the very first we send more than 20. And to the end of the user, whatever given us this team, this 3187, which is very high. So the end market was covered up with those who and this is why it was a successful in the Samara region. Without the agriculture covered us, the market was this year, they didn't come back. A lot of the country farms are kind of a big one now. So they told me to buy this year. So this year we didn't see it affected a lot of farmers. I could see that the middleman just started coming just late. So I just last week, there was 150 of it. It just rose just before I came here to 200 and 180. The police were struggling for 200 and get, but it's not 180. So right from harvesting, from farming, it has been 50 all along up to just last week. So I'm trying to explain the issue of the farmers connected to an market user. And then they are like, Doctor, where you from? With the end market user readily available. The farm after we produce, we're able to mop out. Then have a problem. And then anything that was left, any other product was left, they take it forward and then pick them. So we have no problem with that. So what I want to strengthen now that the government is coming, we want to give individuals as aggregators who are not linked. We have to look at it very well. Talking about this transformation, but very key. Thank you very much. That's what I want to say. Next level.
Thank you, Doc, for the very lengthy presentation. If not because we are a teacher, most of us would have slept. I want to say that one of the pillars of the PFJ was to address the inadequacy of distancing staff, which you alluded to that. But in your caption, it is stated lack of extensive service. I don't know whether it is talking of the act or the individual. If it's the act, fine. But if it's the individual, in 2019, we are all aware that we had a big part of employment of extension agents. The other thing I want to talk about is the Port Act. I don't understand clearly what we meant by the Port Target. The inputs were subsidized to a level that all of us would benefit from it. So it was not like it was given free. Apart from 2017 or so, we used the coupons or so. But subsequently, it was subsidized for everybody to buy. I will not rule out the other way of commercial farmers having taken undue advantage. But this one now was the capability of the individual. If it was given free and women were denied, then we can talk of that. I don't know whether if you don't have price and men are buying, you still describe that one as poor target. If you can explain more of that. There was another point you said that if you were not belonging to farmer organization, you were excluded or you were denied. I want more explanation on that because it was targeting smallholder farmers. I don't know how this FGO came into the context. On the issue of soybean and not applied to local poultry clustering or poultry farmers or so. Maybe we did not get to the poultry farmers or the soya bean farmers. Some of us, we are parents who do not eat the children's food. We feed and lick the hands. What do I mean? Once we teach the farmers what to do, you have to do it, and they'll know that once you are teaching them, you will also know what you are doing. I'm a farmer myself. 2020, soybean, most of my colleagues still sell soybean. Why? Because there was government restriction, or what we call ban. But when we follow up, they say it's restricted. Yet, the small industries in Ghana and the poultry farmers were able to beat government to lay the complaint that outsiders were buying soybean at the expense of servicing the industries. And they laid that restriction, yet no soybean farmer was supported apart from the subsidy on any credit. When we met them, they told us that they wanted to sell the soybean to poultry farmers and the industry on credit. So if you follow your chart very well, especially the soybean, I was waiting. If I didn't see it, I would have given a point, but I saw it there. So there's a very big thing in soya production. That is one of the challenges. If we want to improve in our economy in terms of our pricing, as my brother said, is very necessary. We don't have determination price at the beginning, so that even if it is X price, I will still sell it. Now the price is just playing. Anybody who comes can play with the price. So I think that one should be considered. Then for varieties, I agree with you. I'm a seed grower, but I see producing seed 2018. Why? Because the systems are not the actual systems. Why? Why do I say that? If you realize that in your first thing when you talk of need, you saw the growth of the case of hybrid seed. It was very steep. But when you came to the OPP, you realize that it was gradual. Why? Because we have killed our own industry. We killed it in the sense that people who were not seed producers found a way into the system. And they were buying grain in the market and bagging as seed. And I don't know why our farmers do not bring this thing out to you. I don't know why. They want us to say it and to say that the agri people have said it. Meanwhile, we are the end users. That's why OPP is not more in the system. And that is why that affected when the price in 2021 increased, there was no subsidy and the price increased. We could not buy the hybrid seed. Now, Pania, if my memory serves me right, Pania, an acre is 750. How many of our people can buy for an acre? When OPP, an acre is a kilo is 56, and we need 9 kilos or 10 kilos. So multiply, even if it's 10 kilos, that's 150 for an acre. Yet we have managed to spoil this. So we are still in the slavery until we then, well, when my father was a farmer, when he planted well, he picks the heavy grains, the good grains, and he can recycle. And we can do that with OPP, but we cannot do that with hybrid. So what are we doing to ourselves? I don't want to say that. And then in GS, very bad. My colleagues who are here are simple dealers. We don't want to say that it's not true. But the same way the seed dealing infiltrators came into the seeds, the same way options who claim they are input dealers are also spoil input dealers. And they are here. Instead of them to always say the truth, they are putting the blame on you. People who claim that were input dealers were backing input dealers were backing fertilizer in their houses. We have, some of us have evidence. We know that my colleagues are here. They are not ready to point them because they are in the same business with them. Sorry for that, my good stabilize. From the same place. And okay, they buy everything. Yeah, I think this is what I captured. I've captured so far. And thank you for the time.
Joshua. Yes. Yes. Okay, I can carry on. Thank you very much. Let me stand on the assistant protocol to thank John for a wonderful presentation. One of the observations I've made that your study area covered many areas, especially when you are talking about the product side. But I realized that in your presentation, you dwell so much on using savannah region. But most of the graphs are one I saw savannah region. But nationally, if you compare the PFJ data, Upper East seem to have more utilization than beneficiary compared to savannah region. But I don't know on what basis we're more or less using the savannah region. Okay, so probably we need clarification on that. Then the other issue is you raise a concern about the fact that inputs farmers usually complain about the issue of delay in inputs. I want to give you one reason, if probably the farmers have mentioned it or not. But you see, in the PFJ implementation modalities, normally when the year comes, especially for 2018, 2019, 2020, when the program is rolled out for the year, what happened is that input dealers are supposed to now go to the company who are contracted to supply to the input dealers. Now, it depends on the financial capacity of the input dealer in a particular district, his financial model to go for the inputs and come. So government will say by March, April, they roll out the program. But because there was no conscious financial support directly to the input dealers, if a particular input dealer, particular district input dealers are financially weak, then they'll be sitting down and going for loans, they can't get the loans before they realize, then the time is gone. Then they go and bring a smaller quantity, bring it to the district, the farmers will rush around and finish it, then they have to ration back. So that was one of the fundamental reasons why farmers will always say that the input delay. But if you look at the policy, by March, April, they always call us. I've been a regional state officer in Upper East for the PFJ program before I stepped down to the district as the district director. So that's one of the fundamental things. My third question or concern is that this is not the first time I have been in such a program to look at the assessment of budget for good job. I've been to some platforms where this has been discussed. Now, I want to find out, probably this one will go to what's the name? Third World Network Africa. What is your organization's strength or capability? Be able to influence future government programs of this sort. Because currently we have the PFJ 2.0 that is about to roll out. And we have also seen some potential, challenges. But yet we are quiet or we are only talking, but we haven't actually hit on the ground that this should not be done. If we don't take time, it will be implemented, then we'll now conduct research and then at the end to come out with the new skills. So what is your organization's capacity able to influence some change as far as even current programs are concerned? Thank you very much.
Okay. The next one, I think Ahmad.
My question is just on what you have just said.
Okay.
And I want to know whether government always invite the stakeholders during the time of drawing the policies of some of them. If they do so, what is the fault on one village partner and one factory one district, one factory. Because we have realized that some of the factories have problems on it. Some of the dams they have problems on them. I don't know where the irrigation agency was affected. Most of the dams in my area were constructed on upland areas. Whether dams are constructed on upland areas or lowlands. Thank you.
Don't sit down.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I really thank you to Doc for his presentation. I think it was actually a lengthy presentation. We really enjoyed it. Mine is just about to get certain clarification. I think during the presentation, the last slides, I actually observed or saw numerous challenges he has outlined. That's the research. I was looking forward to see suggested recommendations or solutions in addressing these numerous challenges that were outlined above, especially the limited use of ICT in PFJ. I have not seen that. So I want to know what are the suggestions from the researcher and then that of TWN Africa in remedying some of these challenges so that maybe the next phase 2 or the phase 2 of PFJ, these challenges or these issues should not be replicated. Thank you so much.
The last one is Enoch.
Thank you. And then I want to thank the doctor for the presentation. There's some challenges that I also want to bring it for us to see. Now, with the rice farmers, we realize that we have a base destroying our funds. These days, when you go to the rice farms, you realize that if you have not been able to protect your farm very well, it means that you will put your inputs there, you will do your best, you will see the yield, but you will not harvest. Yes, will destroy. I am last year, I farm at Yamba, about 55 acres. I have the videos here. I couldn't harvest because pests take over everything. And then another challenge is when we look at accessibility, the farmer, the access roads is another issue. You can harvest your rice already, but to bring it out from the farm is another problem. Because there's no road to the farms. And even during the harvesting, accessibility is a problem. And we talked about, my junior brother talked about marketing issue. It's true, the market is a disaster. And then if the market is not there, where are we going to keep this produce? Storage facilities is another issue. We have no place to store our produce. If the market is not there, we should have a place to send all the produce there, so that in future, if there's market, then we go. And there's no storage. Even for these smallholder farms, there's no storage place. And then let's talk about the quality too. We are now talking about production. Are we producing the quality product for the market to demand for it? Or is the market happy with what we are producing? That is another issue. Even if we produce quantity and the quantity are not quality, we will have the problems. You see, the millers are complaining that the rice that we are producing is breaking. The breakage are made. So when you send your rice to the miller and the miller to the man he made it, you have about 70% of breakage. Then it is the problem. He cannot also sell to get money. You see, we have a private company producing rice mill, a very big one. Mason rice. Mason rice have huge quantity. Some of us, he even came to our aid when we are harvesting. He came to pick our rice so that we have, because we have no place. And we have this breakage because we don't have machineries to go in early. So we have about 100 acres of farmland, and then one combined harvester is in your farm. It will take about 2 weeks to finish. And before the 2 weeks, part of your farm will be ready. So if we are not being able to produce quality products, definitely the marketing issues will come. So the first thing is, what are we going to do to get the quality product so that when it is in the market, people will run for it. We have educated, they bought from us, they send it to Kumasi millers, and they are also complaining. They don't have sex because when they are belly, it's breaking. It's very big issue. And are we eating what we are producing? Are we eating? When you go to schools, when you go to the hotels and other places, the cook rice for us, is it what we are producing? That is issue. We are in this country and we don't eat our rice. We are in this country, we don't eat what we are producing. We like the imported one. I think we have to start learning to eat what we are producing. Our local food, our traditional food. When we start eating them, then it means that we will buy them. But if you are not eating them, why are we buying them? I think it is very, very important. And the last of my lesson is, you see, we will come here and talk. Like somebody said, what influence do you have for this? When we finish everything here, do you have any influence? And why don't you invite the policy makers? They should be here with us. The politicians, because they have hand of everything. So that whatever we are going to discuss here, also and do something. So this is really what I want to say. Thank you.
That's all. Enoch is the last one. Thank you for your comments. So we will now allow the presenter to respond to the comments.
Okay, so maybe in case of the response to some of the questions, there could be other follow-up questions. Kindly note down your follow-up questions. When we are done, then we can give space for that too.
Thank you very much. With respect to your question about extension services, I think that should have been limited extension services because with the PFJ, most of the home officials suggested there was an improvement that people it's not so much that there were no extension services at all. Should have been limited extension services. And in terms of the targeting, it was a very complicated issue to understand, study, especially when you have to do with the smallholder farming. Now, when you go into the PFJ document, the target has to do with about 40% of women. Okay, but what we found in practice was that there was a tendency for men to benefit to a very large extent. And then when it comes to the, what do you call it, the large commercial farmers, they have their resources, which the smallholder farmers they don't have. And that was one reason why it threw the targeting. So what that means is that there should be new ways of targeting the smallholder farmers to be able to have access to the inputs. You asked a question about the farmer organizations, right? Yeah. Okay, that was what we found about with respect to what was found generally was the fact that we're buying the inputs in bulk. Maybe they bring their monies together, then through OFA gets the input for them. That was the only information we got.
Yeah, the motivation was that if it was in groups and they were buying in large quantities, they get a discount. That is the only motivation. But the FPUs did not influence PFJ patronage, but FPUs were encouraged to put their resources together. When they go to buy, then they and the input dealer will give a discount small for them and they'll come and distribute to their colleagues. But if they say that because of the FPU or the farmer-based organization, they were excluded from the intervention that maybe asked and to maybe my police, which have a different view. But that is how we encourage the FPUs, especially the PSA, where they have small monies. If they want to buy and they come together, they go to buy. There'll be a discount on the produce, and which is an advantage for them. That one shouldn't have a negative impact on individual patronizing the PFJ production.
But that was the report we had from some of the respondents. Because so we don't belong to this place. They OFA has farmer-based organizations, they operate way. So because of that, because they were not part of it, they couldn't have access to the inputs in the village. So they have these farmer-based organizations, the local communities. Yeah. And then they are more or less registered with OFA, not too sure. So that was their main complaint. Now, we talk about soybean. Soybean, I think that was just about how the foreigners come to buy. That was what's happening in the Milan. Everywhere. Yes, everywhere. So they come in, they buy at very cheap prices, and then but when the ban was placed on the exporting, people coming to buy from outside, they lost the market. The soybeans were there, and because for so many years, had no one was buying, and that was they saw that as a challenge because was affected them. They were complaining about the ban,
exporting the especially when people coming from Togo and other places to buy. And it really affected them. So they were thinking that suggesting if the government can change the policy, they can have because so what happened to most of them was divert to producing other crops instead of this way because they were not earning any. That was the experience. We never heard about people rebagging seeds. And it's a very interesting contribution. They were rebagging the local seeds and selling it.
We were buying grains and selling.
Grains and selling. Just bagging, but they were not input dealers.
Yes. Quickly.
We never found that. That's very interesting too. Now, one person was complaining about the data of the Savannah region. One challenge we had in the research had to do with most of the small officials were not willing to provide the statistical data about the programs. Even in the Savannah region, what we had to do with just what do you call it? This is with there are 5 billion, but we had information only on the seeds, the fertilizer. We get it. In other places, before carrying out this main project, we're able to get some data on the outputs and so forth. But and so if you go to a place and you ask for the data, it is provided, we make use of them. But if we don't have it, then we are not able to make use of it. It isn't that we decided. So what we did was to use the Savannah region as an example of the progress made with the provision of the inputs. Not so much because Savannah region was a special region or and you realize that the data we had there was just given just on the inputs and not on the agriculture, what do you call it, extension services, the number of extension, the number of farmers reached extension services, and the use of agriculture. We did not have any information on that. And I don't know if no information was kept on those other elements of the program. And so what we realized at the end of it was that the program as a whole focused mostly on the fertilizer, the seeds, rather than more on the marketing aspects, and then the agriculture system. That was one thing about that. Now, another person asked about debating raised questions about debating inputs that have to do with the input dealers not having money to buy the inputs. I hope that was it. Yes, that was very complicated, even apart from the input dealers not having the money. We found that at the national level, those who import, we didn't have much interaction with those those who import the inputs before they get to the dealers for distribution to the sector. But there were also challenges with at the national level that contributed towards the sense delays are implemented, the delays are experienced on the ground with respect to the inputs. Because and then it also has to do with some of the suppliers, okay, after supplying the inputs, even if they need to claim the money from the government through the government. And there were also delays with that. So most of them at some point, at the point in time, decided not to be contracted to import. So all that form part of the delays. Now, when it comes to some of these policies with respect, someone was talking about inviting whether the various stakeholders are invited to participate in the design and then the implementation of these policies. And you will realize that you just be there, you just be sitting somewhere one day, and then the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Industry will come up. They have to call their names. Tremontaine, Alan Tremontaine came out with this. That is the way the policies are developed. You don't know how they come about it. And it is very, very interesting point to raise so that we know how these policies are developed, designed, and implemented on the ground. I have an area, so I've been wondering where the policies come from, whether a wide range of stakeholders are involved, but I'm not able to tell. I always ask myself, where do these policies come from? And so that is why we try to link them to the paradigms and approaches to industrialization to see the extent to which some of these policies are aligned with these wider policies that the government implements. So once we are able to see that, we understand that, okay, somehow there are various good policies that can make impact on the wider society. So the policies come announced. The PFJ phase 2, I attended the UDA, and I was wondering where this was coming from. And it's already well designed. You don't know if they have some consultants to design the program from it not being an input subsidy, but a credit, sorry, input credit system. We have the aggregators procuring the inputs and supplying the farmers on credit, and then having them to pay after they have planted and so forth. So it's a very dicey area for how this policies develop. I think those are questions.
Some of the questions were thrown me at TDB, so let me try to respond to them. If you look at the framing that I did at the beginning, I made mention that there must be linkage between agri and industry. Once you don't have that linkage, and when that linkage is broken, it shows up a number of challenges. And so, as I listen to your comments, the issue of the marketing, as I listen to one of the comments, is a disaster. I'm just quoting the point, it's a disaster. Simply because the logic, the paradigm, the approach to how we frame the program, can yield different results. For instance, what we mean by transformation can mean different things to different people. And so I give, for instance, an example like the Japanese. If you tell Japan, for instance, that you want to export rice to Japan, I can assure you your rice will run at the port. Because the Japanese understanding of transformation is that the rice that they eat in Japan must be produced by Japanese. And the linkage with everything about the industry is about Japanese. And so your logic, your paradigm, that informs your program, which determines the kind of results you are looking for. So that is how I made the point that the paradigm at which we frame development in this country give us different results. And so that's the point. And so the point about marketing is not today that we talk about marketing for decades. And so if you don't have the machinery so that you can harvest your rice at the right time, because it's only one combined harvester, you have the 70% breakages across. So that is the point that we need to raise, and it's a point that we need to address. Other than that, keep on doing okay. There's a point about the capacity of TWN. As I said at the beginning, we are an advocacy organization, and I said that we wanted to see what is on the ground, what the researchers find on the ground, and we are running this across the country. We have the middle and we have the south belt. Then after we've gotten the correct inputs from all of you, we're gonna have a number of policy engagement across. I mean, this report for the Northern Belt together with 1,000 bells, and then there will be one report. And then we can, there'll be a number of engagement policymakers on what to do. If the problems with the phase one are being aired and everyone is talking about them, they could influence the phase two. The phase two, what about in other reports? So that is the point I was trying to make there. In advocacy, you get the facts and then you need to engage with the policy makers. There was a point about what do you call it? Maybe Martin responded to that. Where do the policies come from? If we don't begin to influence the policies, then someone else will complete the policy for us. And so, common-based organizations and this type of agri and all that, we all need to contribute. We all need to talk that we need better results. Everyone has to talk. If everyone is talking, then you make impact. But if there's one person talking, they can easily be pressure because one person has no weight. So that's the point that we're talking. We're creating a platform. We talk. We continue to engage. We need to air on the problems that we're encountering, so that we can have better results in the future. So the relevance of this study is to inform us the result that we have achieved so far, and then we can reset, recalibrate the next, so that we don't have the same results. If we keep on doing the same thing, keep on getting the same results. So that's the relevance of this study. Yes. This again, any other comment? Let me see. Any other? So we have one, we have Coleman. Okay, there's a second. Okay, so Coleman. Sorry, I've forgotten your name again. Okay, Amadou. Okay, just a minute. I'll go in that sequence.
It's not on this, but it's on the phase two.
Okay, so we'll give you the mic and I'll put it and you will put it the line. Any other person, please? Any other? So we have two comments. So we can give the
my first concern, which I did not find in the terms of reference of the consultants, is the debate about the philosophical and theological underpinnings of some of these policies and programs. I am specifically referring to the production, harvesting, and distribution systems. You would reckon that there are two modes of production people advocate for in terms of ideology and policy. One is the capitalist push. One of them is to try and build to enhance and promote genetically modified food. Consequently, government of Ghana is beginning to implement some of these GMO policies and programs, which goes to ignore to the benefits of the capitalist system. And there's another side of the debate, which is fighting for food sovereignty. So those on the side of food sovereignty are saying, look, we have to make sure we sustain our own seeds, which are more sustainable than GMO. So of late, Mexico is fighting back. India, some farmers are committing suicide because they cannot get the seeds. And it's beginning to show here. Last month, the Peasants Farmers Association of Ghana, the Northern Ghana, they did a press conference against this GMO. And today, Burkina Faso, Mali are going back to establish gene banks and asking the local farmers to bring the traditional seeds to propagate them. I am raising these debates, which never reflected in the discussions in terms of the research, because it becomes a basis
to think through and listen to the farmers and see whether going forward in future there will be a need for a paradigm shift in terms of our production, distribution. That's one. The last one I want to say is listening to Dr. Kushe, indeed, and listening to you. There is a total disconnect between the formulation of policy and the participation of beneficiaries. If that happens, nothing will go right. So those are my two. Okay. Yes. How about you?
My contribution is planting for food and job phase 2. We have started. And we have started knocking our list. The reason why I say that I'm one of the beneficiaries, I went to register. They snapped me 3 times because the tablet would take my picture. My national ID card, no number of times they snapped. So the reason why, that means the materials they have started to use are fake materials. If they are not fake materials, they're going to be repeating of snapping and re-registration. That means delayers have started. Input is going to be delayed, and at the end you won't have successful output. Okay. So those who, that's the reason why I was asking, who are the people who are the stakeholders on the implementation of some of these policies? If they were to involve a lot of people, stakeholders, these problems wouldn't have come. So we are suggesting that if the planting for food phase 2 is to go on, they should go back and use the manual for the meantime. That's my suggestion.
Okay. We have our snack will go very cool. So I will take Thompson's neighbor. Thompson, the neighbor is Thompson neighbor. Yes. We'll go, I will come back. Let's grab a snack. Yeah. So
I'm a little bit. I think we have had enough already. But one missing term I've listed through that have not been mentioned is the issue of the middle of 2022, they started quoting the fertilizer in dollars. So that made credit impossible because every week the dollar was changing. In 2020, 2021, we pick a fertilizer on credit, pay after 6 months, and the value is still the same. So you can actually bring in fertilizer without money. But when the dollar started changing, all the major suppliers started putting in dollars. So you don't get inputs on local currency, you get it on dollars. So you are in Ghana. So, and if you are taking fertilizer in dollars, I cannot sell it to the farmer on credit, knowing very well that next week the dollar is definitely going to change, and the farmer will not understand the issue of dollars. So it boils down to cash and carry system, and that actually affected most of the production because they couldn't buy. They were thinking it would be like the previous systems. Only here realized that they must pay everything outright because the dollar may change tomorrow. And if you are also going to pay, they are expecting all the dealers to pay outright because the dollar may change tomorrow. So the dollar has actually become a contributory factor in why the inputs were very scarce. So that is a point I wanted to note. And I think the abuse in the system have been mentioned. There were a lot of abuse in the planting for food and jobs system, sometimes ranging from the policy makers to the dealers to the average farmer. this brings back to why people are not understanding Dr. Martin's point that came up. That point is correct. They actually gave a limit to every registered farmer. So those who were in groups, farmer-based groups, what they do is they come together. If each farmer is having 20 in their 10, they pick all the cars and buy the 200. They go. But in reality, not all of them need 20 bucks per each farming year. So if you are standing alone and you need 20, you may not even get up to the 20 because the group has already secured enough. So even in that group, those who need more than 20 will get. But an outsider will not have that advantage. So they actually disadvantage those who are standing alone. So if you're a dealer, you will understand that it's a genuine point that affected. It gave the group members positive advantage and gave the non-group members negative advantage instead of playing an equal platform. That was a point very genuinely mentioned now. And I'm sure the one who contributed probably will be a dealer. My last point is the policymakers. In the issue of the planting for food and jobs, the process was cumbersome to the average person. If you are bringing a fertilizer, a special to Upper East, the inspection starts at Karamanga. And it comes in rain season. The drivers will be complaining, the rains are there, and the fertilizer, if they get there in the night, they wait till the following day office hours. Before they leave, they allow the fertilizer to enter the region. So some of the input dealers have permits, which were not our fault, because officers have to stop them and delay them unnecessarily. And they assign police to be doing it who have no idea of the products inside the car. So the system was being abused. And if I incur debt because I'm running planting for food, you don't expect me to go back to that place next year because you are causing me losses. And if the fertilizer even appear at your shop and the officers are not there, you can't sell one bag. They were selling it live online. If there is no network, which is not my fault, I can't sell. And they will insist that you must obey all that rule. The farmer is insulting you. It's better go for non-planting for food, non-planting PGA fertilizer, where the farmer comes, he pays. I have a good relationship with him, and I can continue to be in business. So the system was being abused, and when there was the need to understand, there was that missing link between dealers and then officers involved. Sometimes it gets so cumbersome that the average person will have to give up. This is actually most of the things that made us give the fit out in the planting for food and job. But the initial implementations were very smooth. But towards 2022, 2023, it became messy. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. Let me suggest that please just move. I'll take the snack and come back. Yeah. So please let's just go. I'll take the snack and come back. Yes, it's 4. The snack is getting cool and cool. Get some tea and I come back. We have 7 minutes to do this because we need to
going to talk about our plans with respect to the one district, one country, and its contribution to Ghana's structural economic development. And the two programs were more or less designed separately at a very large extent. And then, as we suggested in the previous presentation, no room was made of under planning of job at the PFJ to process the increased productivity. So one major interest in conducting this study was to see how best the planting of student jobs can be linked to the one district, one factory program. And so this session is going to talk about the nature of the planting, the one district, one factory in the Savannah ecological zone, and then to see the extent to which the challenges with the one D one program, the extent to which certain linkages, if possible, can be established between the PFJ and the one D one. And when you take the one D one, it has the same paradigm with respect to the same paradigm and approaches to agreement transformation and industrialization, which inform the PFJ. So those policies and so forth are also related to the efforts in Ghana and at the continental and regional level to promote industrialization through especially agriculture. Now, so it was conceptualized to be a comprehensive private sector led initiative. I mean, you have private actors, private entrepreneurs investing in, rather than the government investing in industries to process agricultural produce to a very large. And then it was actually to process goods that were in demand locally and internationally, so that they will begin with if the value is added to produce locally, it can increase income, then we can have enough to use, and then we can have some to export that will earn foreign exchange. So to create jobs as well, and then we'll realize the benefits of modernization in terms of improved living conditions, now, we did a search to try to get a list of list of one factories in the region there. In the literature, and then it's from mostly officials, about 20 factories were in the region. And then we had a list of some of them. These are just examples of some of those factories. We didn't have a record of all the factories. G-Fresh, River Farmers, Tamana, and then the watermelon processing factory, the Sabugo rice factory, and the water farmers, these are just examples of some of those factories. But what is interesting to know about these factories is that, so that's Global Advance. Global Advance was commissioned in 2023. Towards December 2023, that was when it was commissioned. But at the time of the study, it had not started operating. And it was so but it was not really to be. And then we went to Damango. There's a rice processing factory. How they started, they right now, rice, cassava, and cassava processing and everything rice also. The road to the place was pushy, but the building was inside somewhere. So I sent my assistant to check it. He took us some photos, but what I want to say basically was that those factories were also not functioning. They were, and then the respondent, the OT official said about 80% complete. This one is about 80% complete. That level this one for us to do, and the factory will start operation. And that is what was happening. And so they had a cassava granule processing factories. The structures were there, but they were not functioning. And then so we talked about the concern of issues where you had then others are going to be located at the Salaga, Mandai, Bukulensi, and so forth. As I've suggested already, these factories can be categorized into greenfield 1D, 1F. If it's a greenfield 1D, 1F factory, it is initiated by the government. And then it is supposed to be handed to a private entrepreneur or private investor to start production. And then, the privately owned ones have to do with, for instance, global ones, those are the private owners. So that's a brownfield 1D, 1F. At the time of the study, global owners, and said was not in operation. Now, so what is important to also understand is that whilst some of the factories have said that already have been listed as 1D factories, the owners name did not identify their factories as 1D factories, which is a bit confusing, and then you will not be able to understand why they do not say. We really explore much to know why they do not see themselves as 1D factories when they are listed in the media as 1D factories. Now, for a company to become a 1D factory, there are certain eligibility criteria specified. You need to add value to the natural resources found in the locality, and it's because they were designed to process raw materials that can be found in a particular district or a particular locality to a very large extent. And so you should be able to, whatever you produce, substitute for an input or something like you're supposed to engage in producing goods that are imported. So whatever you produce, you substitute whatever has to be imported locally. And the other aspect also has to government operate business support services. So you have this there's an organization that multi Ministry of Business Industry called the Business Resource Advisory Centers. They are the ones that are meant to provide support to this 1D factories in the we found most of them in the district, they were in the distance, and then but then because the factories had not started operation, they could not give information. They were not into the management of the factories, but just to provide advice with respect to how they can run the businesses in terms of set up the factories, in terms of having the factories registered and other bureaucratic processes associated with running the factory. And then they are also supposed to be provided with mentoring support in terms of technical advice as to how to run the factories, and that was also one eligibility criteria that was found among the factory. Additionally, factories must register the Ghana Revenue Authority. The company is supposed to have an investment plan of about 50,000 and should be able to demonstrate commercial viability. I think this criteria applies mostly to the brownfield up to brownfield, which is those that already. And then from the minister, the multi-official, we got to understand that you need to have a proposal for natural security because they are going to be given a loan to run the factory. The loan features are very interesting. Like if you are given a loan of 50,000 and the interest is 50,000, the government takes 50% of the loan and interest for you to act an incentive for you to run the factory.